Okay, attempt two. Hopefully the sound is on this time. I'm going to double check. Yes, I have not muted my microphone. Other good news, I have found my mouse. So, want to talk about the next unit of study that we're getting into. And we have covered text structures, the main body of the text and how they're put together. We've looked at topic, main idea, supporting details, and then creating a summary based off that information. And now we're going to look at text features. And if you remember our example earlier in the year or earlier in the month, the text structures are the wood building. It's the foundation, the concrete foundation, the frame of the house. It's what everything else is built around. And the features are the things that flesh it out, that give it more meaning, that give it more interest. So the quizzes that you just did really is testing, do you know different text features? And while that's important, we're going to be looking at text features and looking at them a little bit more in depth and trying to figure out what the author is trying to get us to know, how they enhance the text, and what problems we can solve using those text features. But before I get too much into that, I want to talk a little bit about different kinds of nonfiction text. So, when I ask about what kind of text are you reading, and especially at the small group table, you turn it over and you tell me it's expository nonfiction or narrative nonfiction. I just want to do a little bit of a definitional thing. We are looking at mostly expository nonfiction. And I think the easiest way to explain it is to tell you a narrative nonfiction is a nonfiction book that tells a story, or it's in a story format. It's still real, it's true, but it's told in the form of a story. So it's following a person or an idea from point A through time to point B to where it's finished. Expository is the opposite of that, where you have a main topic that covers the entire story, but you're looking at individual pieces, and the information that you're getting about that comes in chunks, usually in the form of subheadings, categories. A great example is when we think about the story One Well. One Well, the main topic is the story of water on Earth, and then the individual subheadings like access to the well, plants at the well, animals at the well, really talk about those specific things in the context of water on our planet. So it doesn't tell a story of a droplet of water from here to another time. It's really focusing on different aspects of water on planet Earth. So on expository nonfiction, you're always going to see it's focused on a topic, and those facts are on that topic. The information is organized in a clear structure, so text structure is problem, solution, cause and effect, description. It's not told in the story format. There may be aspects, especially at the beginning of stories, you may see a little bit of a narrative story being told to get you hooked into the rest of it, but the entire story is not, or the entire book is not told in the story format. And then the major topic is the thing that's supported throughout the book by the subheadings and categories. Often it has a message. Remember, sometimes if we have something that is just strictly informational, the message and the main idea are kind of the same thing. The main idea of One Well is the amount access to the water on the planet isn't equally distributed. The author's really saying, hey, we need to make sure we're taking care of our resources and sharing them when we have the opportunity. So the message and the main idea are slightly different. Oftentimes, you're going to see those categories and subcategories. I think the vast majority of the time, you're going to see categories and subcategories in expository nonfiction. You're going to have those text features to help you find or gain more information, and then illustrations, graphics. Okay. As we talk about text features, and the next few days that we're going to talk about is we're going to break them up into different categories. So the three main categories of text features are called navigators, types of print, and then your visual. Your navigators are text features that lead you to another part of the text. So examples of navigators are going to be your table of contents, because I can open that book, I can find a particular subject, and it tells me what page that is. I can go to an index. I want to find elephants, and I can go to the index and I can find the word elephants and see what pages that the word elephant occurs on. So they navigate you to somewhere else. A glossary is kind of in between a navigator and types of print, because types of print are usually embedded in the main text, and they're going to be bold, which will often lead you to a glossary, so kind of like a navigator. They would be your size of print, so your headings, your subheadings really are trying to grab your attention and tell you, hey, what you're going to be reading in this section. It can be symbols that will lead you to footnotes or to appendix, depending on how meaty your actual book that you're reading is. And then finally, you have visuals. These are all the things that you're familiar with: photos, drawings, diagrams, maps. So all of those things. So we're going to be looking at each of these different types over the next few days. That's really all I have for you today. Hopefully that my microphone is working, and I'll see you tomorrow.